Have you ever pondered on the mysteries lurking beneath the ocean's surface? How many tales of human endeavor, tragedy, and survival lie buried in its depth? The sea, vast and unyielding, is a silent keeper of secrets, harboring countless stories of shipwrecks that span the whole of human history. These submerged time capsules serve as somber reminders of our vulnerability against nature's might. Among these silent relics are 5 shipwrecks that stand out for their historical significance and the magnitude of their tragedies. The RMS Titanic, a symbol of human ambition that met an icy end. The MV Wilhelm Gustloff, a casualty of war's brutal unpredictability. The MV Dona Paz and MT Vector, victims of a fiery collision in tropical waters. The SS Sultana, a testament to the harsh realities of post-Civil War America. And the SS General Slocum, a grim reminder of safety oversight in the early 20th century. Dive with us into the dark waters as we explore the stories of these ill-fated vessels. The RMS Titanic, the unsinkable ship that sank, has become a symbol of human hubris. Born from the ambition of the White Star Line, the Titanic was a true marvel of Edwardian engineering. Launched in May 1911, she was the largest moving object ever built by man. A floating city designed to ferry passengers across the Atlantic in unprecedented luxury. The ship was touted as unsinkable, a testament to mankind's triumph over nature. But as we all know, this was a claim that would soon prove tragically false. The Titanic's maiden voyage began on April 10, 1912, carrying over 2,200 passengers and crew. 4 days into the journey, the ship struck an iceberg. The collision ripped open the ship's hull, and despite its advanced safety features, the Titanic was fatally wounded. In less than 3 hours, she slipped beneath the icy waves of the North Atlantic. Over 1,500 lives were lost in the disaster, making it one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the world reeled. The sinking of the Titanic wasn't just a disaster, it was a stark reminder of the fallibility of human judgment and the power of nature. The loss of the Titanic led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea was established, setting standards for safety equipment and procedures on passenger ships. The creation of the International Ice Patrol also ensured that the location of icebergs would be tracked and reported to prevent future disasters. The Titanic disaster serves as a poignant reminder of our collective past. It's a story of ambition and innovation, but also of hubris and tragedy. It shows us that no matter how advanced our technology becomes, we must never underestimate the power of nature. The Titanic disaster forever changed our perception of safety and the power of nature. The MV Wilhelm Gustloff, a ship whose sinking resulted in the deadliest maritime disaster in history. The Wilhelm Gustloff began its life as a symbol of hope and prosperity, a luxurious cruise liner designed to boost morale among German workers in the mid-1930s. However, as the tremors of war began to shake Europe, its role dramatically changed. The Gustloff was requisitioned by the German Navy and transformed into a floating hospital, and later a barracks for U-boat trainees. As the end of the Second World War loomed in January 1945, the Gustloff was tasked with a mission of desperate evacuation. Its decks were filled far beyond capacity with refugees, wounded soldiers, and Nazi officials, all seeking to escape the advancing Red Army. On a freezing night, the Gustloff set sail from the port of Gotenhafen. Packed with an estimated 9,000 people, it was a tragedy waiting to happen. And happen it did. The Gustloff, sailing in the dark, was spotted by the Soviet submarine S-13. 3 torpedoes struck the Gustloff, and within an hour, it was at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. The death toll was catastrophic. Of the 9,000 souls on board, it is believed that over 6,000 perished, many of them children. To put that into perspective, that's over 3 times the number of lives lost in the sinking of the Titanic. The chilling waters of the Baltic Sea became a graveyard for those trying to escape the horrors of war. In the aftermath, the Gustloff's sinking was largely forgotten, overshadowed by the scale of the global conflict and the devastation it wrought. It was a disaster that occurred in the final months of the war, a war that had numbed the world to such calamities. Yet the Gustloff story is crucial to remember. It serves as a stark reminder of the perils of war, the fragility of life, and the cost of desperation. The Wilhelm Gustloff disaster is a chilling reminder of the horrors of war. The collision of MV Dona Paz with MT Vector, a disaster that has been dubbed as Asia's Titanic. The MV Dona Paz was a Philippine-registered passenger ferry that on the fateful night of December 20, 1987, collided with MT Vector, an oil tanker. The tragedy that ensued has since been etched into the annals of maritime history. The MV Dona Paz, originally named Himeyuri Maru, was built in Japan in 1963 and was later sold to the Philippines. The vessel was known for its inter-island service, regularly ferrying people and goods across the bustling archipelago. On the other side of this catastrophic equation was the MT Vector, an oil tanker that was chartered to transport petroleum products from Bataan to Masbate. The night of the collision was marked by a lack of vigilance, with both vessels reportedly failing to follow standard maritime procedures. It was a clear night, yet the radar of the Dona Paz was switched off, and the Vector was operating without a lookout. The result was a disaster of unimaginable scale. The Vector's cargo ignited on impact, causing a fire that swiftly engulfed both vessels. Of the estimated 4,000 passengers aboard the Dona Paz, only 24 survived. The aftermath of the collision was a time of national mourning in the Philippines. The tragedy led to extensive investigations, revealing negligence, overloading of the ferry, and a lack of emergency equipment among the primary causes. This tragic incident led to a re-evaluation of maritime safety standards in the Philippines, with stricter regulations being implemented to prevent such disasters in the future. Despite these measures, the memory of the Dona Paz catastrophe remains a chilling reminder of the potential cost of negligence. It underlines the importance of adhering to safety protocols, not just in the Philippines but across the world's vast oceans. The Dona Paz catastrophe served as a wake-up call for maritime safety in developing nations. The SS Sultana and SS General Slocum, two steamship disasters that left deep scars on American history. The SS Sultana was a Mississippi River steamboat that exploded in April of 1865. The vessel was operating at full capacity, carrying Union soldiers who were eager to return home after the Civil War. But due to a faulty boiler and severe overcrowding, the ship exploded and caught fire, resulting in the loss of an estimated 1,700 lives. The aftermath of the Sultana disaster led to increased scrutiny and regulations regarding the safety and capacity of steamboats. On the other hand, the SS General Slocum was a passenger steamboat that caught fire and sank in New York's East River in June of 1904. The ship was carrying members of a local church to a picnic when a fire broke out on board. Due to inadequate safety measures and ill-prepared crew, over 1,000 passengers perished, making it New York's deadliest disaster until the September 11th attacks nearly a century later. The aftermath of the General Slocum disaster saw a public outcry for improved safety measures on passenger ships. This led to the creation of the Steamboat Inspection Service, a federal agency tasked with enforcing safety regulations on steamboats. Both the Sultana and General Slocum disasters serve as grim reminders of the consequences of negligence and the lack of adequate safety measures. They prompted significant changes in maritime safety regulations, leading to the safer and more regulated industry we know today. But beyond their impact on safety regulations, these tragedies left lasting marks on the communities affected. They are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of devastating loss, and a reminder of the importance of vigilance and preparedness in all aspects of life. The Sultana and General Slocum disasters highlight the importance of safety regulations in preventing avoidable tragedies. As we resurface from the depths, we carry with us tales of tragedy and lessons learned. We've journeyed through time, revisited the unfathomable losses of the Titanic, the Wilhelm Gustloff, the Dona Paz, the Sultana, and the General Slocum. Each tragedy, unique in its circumstances, united in the profound impact they've had on maritime safety regulations and our collective history. We've seen how the Titanic's sinking led to the establishment of the International Ice Patrol, forever altering navigation in North Atlantic waters. The Wilhelm Gustloff disaster spotlighted the perils of war, while the Dona Paz catastrophe resulted in stricter regulations for passenger ferries. The Sultana and General Slocum disasters too sparked changes, pushing for better fire safety measures on board. These shipwrecks serve as poignant reminders of our vulnerability and the eternal struggle between humanity and the unforgiving sea. They underscore the importance of vigilance, preparedness, and respect for the mighty depths that hold both beauty and potential for disaster.